Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Learning to Be Human. I'm Benji, learning right along with you. In our last episode, we did a general overview of the 7 habits of highly effective people. And today we'll be doing a more in-depth dive on our first habit, be proactive. When I was first thinking about how to start talking about being proactive, I reread the chapter and came to the conclusion that being proactive is not the way that people generally describe being proactive. Stephen Covey puts being proactive as not just a state of having a superior initiative. It's about understanding that you are the creator, the first creator of your reality. This takes me back to remembering my days when I was younger. I used to get into a little bit of trouble, and I was persuaded to go to a couple of AA meetings. I didn't really have a problem and didn't learn much from my experiences there, but there was an ending prayer that they used to say that stuck with me. It was called the Serenity Prayer. And the Serenity Prayer goes like this: God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I think this perfectly encapsulates what Stephen Covey was trying to explain in his first habit of being proactive. Being proactive does not mean predicting the future. It doesn't mean getting out ahead of things before they become problems. It doesn't mean knowing what's going to happen before it does. Being proactive means being the person that puts your life into action. He has a very interesting graphic in the middle of the chapter where we look at a viewpoint of life where there are external factors that are crushing in on our own personal sphere of influence. And there is another different viewpoint called a proactive viewpoint where it's our sphere of influence expanding further and further to fill in all of the gaps of external factors that we cannot control. The idea of being proactive is more about a mindset of seeing the world as an opportunity to succeed as opposed to a place only for failure. When you see a challenge, a proactive person, instead of seeing a challenge, sees a solution. A reactive person sees a challenge as a failure in the future. It's about understanding that you are the creator of your world. You're the one that puts in place what you do. You're the one who controls your actions, and you're the one who has the final say on what it is that you do with your life. Being proactive has more to do with understanding why you want to do things as it is understanding what it is that you're supposed to do. I believe, especially myself, when I start trying to take on a new goal or try to quote unquote be better, I never know what I mean. I never know what I'm talking about. Stephen Covey puts it very, very easily and very quickly in the first chapter in the very beginning of this book. You have to look at yourself as who you are. You have to take stock of who you are and know what it is that you're capable of. You may not be proud of what it is that you can do, and that might make it really hard for you to take an accurate account of who you are and what you're capable of. But understand that this is the first step in becoming a better person. By taking an accurate account of what you're capable of and who you are, you can understand the size of your sphere of influence. And throughout our time with this book and throughout the rest of your life, you can take your opportunities to increase that sphere of influence. Being proactive means understanding who you are and understanding that your viewpoint will change your level of success in this game of life. We don't have a lot of opportunity to go out there and prove ourselves and do better. We have very short lives. And being proactive, it's talking about looking at life as an opportunity for success, as opposed to a hellish failure, a place where you'll never succeed. It's a mindset of growth. I think growth mindset is a word that gets thrown around all the time. And Stephen Covey likes to say that it's just having initiative without thinking too hard about it. We all struggle with getting up in the morning, but the people that look at getting up in the morning as something that to be proud of and something as a success for them do better in their lives. I used to hate the idea of mindset and abundance and gratitude, but it seems as though after reading tons and tons of self-help books, that's what'll save us. That's what keeps successful people going, is understanding the difference between a punishment and a test. The world is not punishing you, the world is testing you. And it is up to you to rise to the occasion or to succumb to the challenge. I think I can illustrate this point pretty well by just reading off some definitions or examples of reactive versus proactive language. So a list of reactive terms would be, there's nothing I can do. That's just the way I am. He makes me so mad. They won't allow that. I have to do that. I can't, I must. If only. A proactive response is, let's look at our different alternatives. I can choose a different response. I control my own feelings. I can create an effective presentation. I will choose an appropriate response. I choose, I prefer, I will. You have power. You have power inside of you that needs to be tapped before you can move forward in self-development. It's very easy to let your power get taken away by the external world, but you have to understand that in order to get your power back, in order to lean back into who you are, in order to be proactive, you have to create a situation of success. Your world has to revolve around your success. When you look at things, when you approach things, they're opportunities, not roadblocks. When I have a major repair on my car and I have to figure out how am I going to pay for it? What am I going to do? Should I sell the car? Why is the world coming down on me? I could also look at that and say, well, this could be a great opportunity to look at new vehicles. I've always wanted a new car. I've always wanted a faster car. I've always wanted to learn more about car mechanics. Maybe I should look at the car. Maybe I should try to diagnose and figure out what's wrong with it. Maybe I should Google it. Maybe I can learn something as opposed to just feeling like a failure because of something that happened to a piece of machinery that I didn't build. But I could let my own car failure get in the way of my life, and I can let that cause problems for me. Or I can say, well, now that I've fixed it, it drives better than it ever did before. And that's all I ever wanted, was a car that drove well and the ability to get from point A to point B. Life is really hard. It's certainly hard enough without you making it harder for yourself. So to end the episode, I want you all to remember the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Then I want you to take stock of what you can do and what your sphere of influence is, and understand that this point that you are at is only temporary. Your sphere will expand as you expand and as you grow. And remember that when life has problems, when life throws you lemons, don't get mad. Don't burn anyone's house down with the lemons. Make some fucking lemonade and enjoy the sunshine. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.